Welcome back to yoga. And in today's class, we'll explore that concept a little more about balance. It's always a balance in our yoga practice, finding that kind of play between effort and ease. We don't want our practice to be all strength, all effort, tightness, and hardness. But we also, on the other extreme, don't want it to be all just no effort, just kind of really loosey-goosey, though you're not getting any benefits from your practice. So we just play the edge and just kind of wherever we're at for that day. So some days we have a little more energy, some days we want to come down and rest. So taking deeper options if that works for you. Otherwise, just staying where you're in your comfort zone. Right, so right now, take a moment. Close your eyes, sit a little bit taller in your seat. Maybe you're sitting up on your block. Maybe you're sitting on a pillow. That's a great way to elongate the spine, create a little bit more openness in your hips. And then begin to find that balance with your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Maybe count your inhale from 1 all the way up to the top of the inhale. As you exhale, reverse that count all the way back down to 1. And do that a couple more times. Inhale, lift up to the same number. Exhale, release all the way back down, counting backwards. And then one more time, inhale. As you exhale, counting back. This time as you inhale, wherever you were, see if you can add a count of 2. So lengthening that breath just a little more. And then we'll exhale, release, counting back. Trying to create as much length in your breath as you can. And this breath is pretty easy while we're seated. See if you can stay with this deep, full breathing throughout your practice, even when you're in the most challenging of poses. All right, take another breath here. And then just seal your palms together at your heart center, bow your head to your heart. Take a little moment of reflection, a moment just to invite anything in that you would like for your practice today. On your next in-breath, we're going to reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice full deep stretch. And then exhale, lower them all the way down. Reach underneath you, come off of anything that you're seated on. Lean back and change the cross of your legs. And then let your hands just rest on your knees, sit nice and tall. And then connecting back to your breath, inhale yourself forward. And then as you exhale, start to move backwards. The inhale brings you back to the top of your mat. So just take some nice full circles. You could stay small or start to get bigger. But you want to keep your spine lengthened. Feel as if you're kind of leading this movement with your heart. And each circle is an in and an out breath, so a cycle of breath. And you can maybe even close your eyes. Focus a little bit more on the breath and the movement. And maybe it becomes just like a moving meditation. And take a couple more circles going in this direction. And then let's exhale at the top of the mat. Take a nice full inhale and then exhale in the opposite direction. Alright. You just feel a movement under your sit bones. Slowing down your breath means that you're slowing down the movement. When you slow down the movement, you can feel all those little subtle stretches. Take another couple of circles all the way around. And then you're going to pause back at the top of your mat, bring your hands down, and then just walk your hands out in front. As you exhale, just melt yourself down towards the earth. Stay on your fingertips, so don't bring your whole hand down. Press your fingertips into the mat and then press back through your sit bones. See if you can feel a little stretch in your lower back. All right, we're going to take that with the other leg in front. So walk your hands back in. We change the cross of your legs. Walk your hands back out in front of you. And then exhale, soften down. All right, walking your hands back in. All right, sit nice and tall. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up, lengthen up like you're lengthening out of your pelvis. Press into your sit-bones. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So you're going to reach your left arm forward and your right arm back. Keep lifted all the way through the crown of your head. The next inhale, bring your hands back up to center. And then as we exhale, we're going to twist to the left. So maybe looking back towards your left thumb, reaching your fingertips far apart from each other. Beautiful. Inhale, come all the way back up. On your exhale, lower your hands down. And then we'll crawl onto hands and knees. So maybe have your blocks at the top of your mat if you have your yoga blocks. If not, maybe have something that you can use for blocks, perhaps some books or something. Bring your hands down to the mat. Press into the tops of your feet, and as you inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your heart. Coming through cow pose, and then as you exhale, you're going to round into your spine into cat pose. And it's the same as the circles that we were doing seated. You're moving at the pace of your breath and allowing the breath to be the guide of your movement. All right, one more inhale. Exhale and round, and then we'll come back to a neutral spine. So tuck your toes under, give your feet a little stretch. Bring your left foot off to the left and walk your left hand forward just a little bit. And then we're going to slide the right foot to the back of the mat. Roll to the inside edge, and then inhale, reach up. So stay here, you can get a nice stretch. You might take some nice big circles for your arm and just release out your shoulder. And then come back to the stretch. Stay here or lean a little forward and pick up your right leg. All right, staying here is an option, or reach back, find your foot. Turn your heart, turn your gaze to the ceiling. Press your foot into your hand. Beautiful. All right, release and extend. And then we're going to lower the hand, lower the foot. Take a couple more rounds of the cat-cow. And then we'll come all the way back to neutral. All right, then coming into the other side. So you're going to slide that leg back behind you. Walk your left hand a little forward, roll to the inside edge of the foot, and come up, find the stretch. Same thing here, maybe take a couple of circles, going in both directions, just freeing up your shoulder. And then option A is to stay here, breathing, finding the stretch, or maybe pick up the back leg. So a little bit more balance. Make sure that this doesn't change the quality of your breath. And then you could stay here or reach back, find your foot. Taking the top of your foot, press your foot into your hand. Lift your legs. Awesome. Beautiful. Release and extend. And then you're going to lower your foot. Lower your hand. Come back onto your hands and knees and inhale. And exhale through a couple more rounds of cat-cow. Then tuck your toes underneath you. Walk your hands to the top of your mat and line your middle fingers up with the very top edge of your mat. All right, press down firmly into your hands. Your fingers are nice and spread, fingertips pressing. Slide your right foot to the back of your mat. Press yourself a little forward so your shoulders come right over your wrists. And as you exhale, feel like hugging in of your low belly towards your spine. And then you're going to step your left foot back. All right, coming into plank pose. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. You have the option to bring your knees down. Feel like you're hugging your forearms together, your shins together. But there's a lot of strength here, there's a lot of effort. See if you can balance it with a little ease. If you're clenching your jaw, let it release. Take one more inhale here. And then you're going to exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. All right, bend into one knee, bend into the other. Take a couple of breaths, just walking out your legs. Nice. And then hold still, melt your heels down as far as they'll go. Press into your hands like you're pressing the earth away. Melt your torso towards the front of your thighs. All right, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, you're going to walk your hands back towards your feet and walk yourself into Uttanasana forward fold. So this is the first forward fold. You could bend your knees a little bit, but let your head feel heavy. Take a couple of breaths. Maybe straightening into one leg, into the other. We'll take one more breath here. And then bring your hands to your shins and inhale, lift up halfway. As you exhale, bow. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale your hands to your hands. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold and lower. Inhale, press your feet, come all the way up to standing. Exhale your hands to your heart. One more like that, half sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to bow. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale your hands back to your heart. Beautiful. Inhale, reach all the way up. This time we're going to exhale back to Uttanasana and hold. Maybe take your first 2 fingers and thumbs, wrap them around your big toes, melt the front of your torso to the front of your thighs, and take a breath. Alright, and then releasing your toes, look down, walk your hands forward, walk yourself back to your downward facing dog. Take some breaths. On this inhale, we're going to reach the right leg up behind us, 3-legged dog. So toes point down, heel presses back, and then lift your foot a little higher. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Maybe make some circles with your foot, release out your ankle. Nice, and then we'll straighten that leg and exhale, set it down. Coming straight into the other side, so we're lifting the left leg, bend into the knee, lift your hips high, and maybe circle out that ankle. All right, trying to keep my shoulders nice and level here. And then release that leg out. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, press your hips back. And then as you exhale, lower your knees down and come to child. Okay, take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll come all the way back up to our hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands in, and come up to high kneeling. Bring your hands to your hips. So think about that concept of balance. We're going to step into a low lunge here. So with your hands on your hips, we're going to step the right foot forward. So lean a little bit off to the left. Lift your right knee up. And then see if you can step it through with a little balance. Shoulders are over your hips. Relax into your hip flexor. Inhale, reach your arms up and lift your hips. All right, we'll take this into a twist, so reach your arms out and then open up, we'll twist here. Okay, staying here, or maybe coming just a little bit deeper. So right hand reaches down, left arm reaches up. We'll come back to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lower your hands down. Stretch out through your right leg and forward fold. Come all the way back up. Hands on your hips. And then we're going to slide that foot back in. We're going to come back to kneeling. Alright, so a little wobbly. We're going to try and step the other foot forward. So lean a little bit to your right, lift your left knee, and then step it through. Whoop. It is wobbly. Okay. Alright. And then as you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift our arms up, take a nice stretch. Beautiful. Reach your arms out, and then we're twisting the opposite way. And maybe bringing it into a little bit of a deeper twist. All right. Inhale all the way back. Exhale your hands down. Beautiful. And then folding over your extended leg. Walk yourself forward. This time we're going to walk our hands to the inside edge of that left foot. Lift the back knee and then walk all the way to the long side of your mat. As you exhale, come into a soft forward fold. So strong legs, crown of your head reaching towards the earth. Take a breath. And then walk your hands forward, come halfway up. Come all the way up to standing. And then turn your toes out and your heels in. All right, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend into your knees. Coming into Shiva's pose, temple pose. All right, reach your arms out in front of you, palms face up. And connect your index finger to your thumb. All right, maybe sit just a little deeper. Staying here, or we're going to lift the right heel up off the mat. Beautiful. Exhale, lower that heel down. And then we'll inhale, lift the left heel up. Beautiful. Exhale, lower that, maybe sit just a little deeper. Option to lift both heels. Alright, exhale, lower down, sit a little deeper. And then let's inhale, take a big stretch, reach all the way up. Exhale, lower your hands down. Alright, turn your right toes out and we'll come into warrior two. Alright, take a breath here. Sit maybe a little deeper. On your inhale, turn your palms up. Straighten into your leg, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, come back to warrior two. Two more times like that, just a little leg strengthener. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. All right, from here, extended side angle. So right forearm to the top of your thigh. Left hand on your hip, roll your shoulder open. Now importantly here, we want to try and get our left shoulder stacked right on top of the right shoulder and the left hip right over the right hip. We're going to come back to this pose and bring it into a balance. All right, last option is to stay here Or create a little bit more strength in your legs and maybe reach both arms out overhead. Right. Press into your feet. Stay connected to your breath. Beautiful. Lower your forearm back down. Come all the way back. Warrior two. Okay, straighten into that leg. Let's turn the right toes in and the left toes out. And then bend into the left knee. Okay, reaching out. Take a couple of breaths here. And then let's turn the palms up. We're moving on the breath. So the inhale is going to lift us up. Straighten into that leg. Exhale, lower down. Let's inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. One last time. Inhale. And exhale. Holding here. And then right foot, hand to your hip. Left hand to your thigh. Or left arm to your thigh. Coming into extended side angle. Staying here. Reaching the right arm out. And then maybe following that with the left arm. All right, take a couple of breaths. Feel the muscles of your legs hugging the bones. That's the strength, the effort. All right, balance it with a little ease. All right, then when they come back to warrior two, bring your hands to your hips and turn your toes in. All right, if you've got blocks, have one block at the top of your mat. Bring the other block to the back of your mat. Come back to your warrior two, facing towards the right. And then we're going to come into half moon pose. So reach your right arm out, and then bring it down, find your block. If you don't have a block, you can use the mat, but your leg is a lot longer than your arms, so a block or something to give you a little lift really helps in this pose. Step your left foot in just a little, and then we're going to start to stand on the right leg and bring the left leg up behind us. Flex your left foot. So you could stay right here. Or you're going to start to open up into the left shoulder and maybe lift the left arm. So this is where you've got the left shoulder, left hip stacked over the right shoulder and the right hip. Take another couple of breaths here. And then lower your gaze. We're going to step it back the way we came into it. Back to warrior two. Hands to your hips. Okay, turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out. Come back to your warrior two. Bring your right hand to your hip. Look down, find your block. Walk it a little forward. So you want to have that block right under your left shoulder as you slide your right toes in and then lift. All right, and then opening up. Take about 5 breaths here. All right, as you're ready to come out, look down. Bring your hand back to your hip. Step it back to your warrior two. Okay. Come back to a wide-legged stance. All right, take a big breath in, reach up. Reach your hands behind you, clasp them, then lift your heart, lift your gaze. As you exhale, come into a forward fold, arms reaching up overhead, and then your head just feel really loose, like you just nod it from side to side, yes and no. Okay, and then we're going to come all the way back up and release our hands. Okay, heel toe your feet in just a little bit closer together, but not all the way. And then we'll either come into a supported squat, malasana. This is going to be where you're going to stop if you have any knee issues. Otherwise, come down all the way, seeing if you can keep your heels on the mat. Great, hug your hands in towards your heart. Let your tailbone grow heavy. Create a little lift in your heart. Soft gaze. Okay, we have an option here for an arm balance crow pose. So you want to make nice wide handprints. Bring your hands down at least shoulder width, maybe a little wider. And then you're going to lift your knees and nestle them into the back of your arms. If you're working with this pose, the blocks come in handy. You could have a block under your head, or you could place a block under your feet, which is going to give you just a little lift. And then when you're ready, so this is all about momentum. Hug your knees into the backs of your arms, and then start to lean yourself forward. So I'm looking forward and not down. And then you might play with lifting one foot. And then see how it feels maybe both feet. Hug your heels up towards your butt. See if you can hold this for about 5 breaths. All right, and then when you're ready, drop your feet back down. And come back to Malasana. Nice job. You could come to seated or stay in Malasana, and then just bring the backs of your hands together so you can give your wrist just a little stretch. All right. And then take your first 2 fingers and thumbs, bring them down, wrap them around your toes, come into a forward fold as you lift yourself back up. Nice. Inhale halfway. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. All right, shake your legs out. If you have a yoga strap, that might come in handy here. You also might like the support of a wall or a piece of furniture and then come into another balance pose. So the first one I'll demonstrate with the strap. You're going to take your strap, stand well on your right foot, and then lift your left foot. Take your strap, bring it over your foot, and then hold on to it. Bring your other hand to your hip and stand nice and tall. And then you're going to extend your left leg out. All right, give yourself lots of torque on your strap. All right, stand nice and tall. And then we're going to open the left leg all the way out to the side. Right hand can stay there, or maybe lift. Nice, and then you bring your hand back to your hip. Bring your leg all the way back to center and hold. Then we're going to take the right hand to the strap. Bring your left hand to your hip. Stand tall again, and then we're going to open up to the left. And then maybe reach around with your gaze. Come back through center. Bend into your left knee. And release your strap. All right, give your legs a little shake. Come back to mountain pose for a few breaths. So when we do the other side, you can use your strap, or you have the option to reach for your big toe. If you're holding your big toe, you want to be able to extend your leg out. All right, stand nice and tall, so you don't want to collapse to try and do this. And then we're going to open out all the way to the right. Come back to center. And then we're going to change out the leg. So if you don't have your strap, you're going to bend your knee. Find the outer edge of your foot. Extend that leg out. And then reach the right arm back behind you. And maybe follow with the gaze. And into a twist. All right, come back through center. Bend into your leg. Set your foot down, come back to Tadasana, and stand nice and tall. All right. Walk yourself back to the top edge of your mat. And on your inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Lower your hands. Bring your feet back. You could hold your down dog or take a vinyasa. Vinyasa, you're going to come through to plank. So knees could stay lifted or knees down. Come halfway down and then hips come to the mat. Inhale to your cobra. Tuck your toes. Lift back through plank and down dog. Alright, take a couple of breaths. On your inhale, reach the right leg up behind you. Press it back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, tap your right elbow with your right knee. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. And inhale back. This time we're going to come all the way through to downward facing pigeon. Wiggle your left toes back. Come down onto your forearms. If you have a block, you could rest your head on your block or your hands, or maybe let your head rest on your mat. Alright, take a couple of breaths. And then maybe start to sink your hips a little bit more heavily down towards the ear. So this is a big stretch to the gluteus muscle on the right leg. So we're going to hold here just for a few more breaths. Take a couple more breaths in pigeon and then start to walk your hands back in. So if you've got a block, find your block and just slide it under your right hip. Maybe walk your right foot in a little bit closer, and then we'll come up to an upward lifted pigeon. Option to reach your arms up overhead. Okay, you could stay here or bend into your left knee. Maybe reach back with your left hand and find your foot. Bring your shoulders back to face center and then lift. Alright. When we release out of this, we're going to come back to down dog. Walk out our legs. Release out the right hip. Take some breaths. We'll take the core strengthener on the way into pigeon. You can always skip this. We're going to lift the left leg. Exhale the left knee through. Inhale it back. Exhale to the left elbow. Inhale back. Exhale to the right. Inhale back. Exhale through. Coming into pigeon. Always want to keep this foot flexed. You want to keep your knee as safe as you can. Use your block. Walk your right toes back. And then soften down. So we'll take about 10 breaths here. So we'll let your breath slow down. Allow your hips to start feeling heavy. You can always wiggle your left foot up a little bit closer to the top of your mat, which will increase the stretch. Let's take about 2 more breaths here. And then we'll start to make our way back out. So to help with balance, maybe popping your block under your left hip. So there's idea when you come up, if you're reaching your arms up overhead, you want to press a little bit down through your legs and the hips. So that pressing down It almost acts like a springboard to lift you up. So we can come here. There's other options. We can bend into the back leg. Reach back, catch your foot. Turn your heart back to the top of your mat. Lift up. Alright, any different options that feel good here. As you're ready, bring your foot back. Walk your hands underneath you. And let's just come all the way back. And stretch it out in down dog. Okay. Lower to your knees, sink your hips back, and rest in child's pose. Lifting yourself back up, and we'll come to seated. Bring both legs out in front of you. Toes point up, hands rest on the top of your thighs. Lift your heart, relax your shoulders. All right, keep your left leg extended. We're going to bend into the right knee. Let that whole right leg open back up, so you can always take your block under your knee for support if you need it. And then let's take a twist to the left. Sit nice and tall. Beautiful. Come back to center. And then we're going to forward fold over the left leg. So keeping your spine nice and long. Don't round to try and get your head closer to your leg. Maybe reach your hands to your feet or your foot. All the way up. We're going to bend into that leg. Find the toe. Sit nice and tall. And then open it out to the left. Turn your gaze and maybe reach your right arm out. Reach that right arm up overhead. Lower your hands. Bend back into your left knee. And then just come into a forward fold. Come all the way back up. And then the right leg extends and the left knee bends. Before we do anything, let's take a twist to the right. All right, then come back through center and exhale, folding over the right leg. Inhale back up. We're going to take our first two fingers and thumbs. Find the right big toe. So you don't want to be slouched here. You want to sit as tall as you can. And then extend the leg out. Press down through this leg. Lift your heart. Press out through your heel. You can reach your arm out to the side. Reach it up overhead. Awesome. It's a nice stretch. Bend into your knee, bring that foot in front, and come all the way down. Inhale back up. We're going to take our feet, bring the soles of our feet together, and let our knees come nice and wide. If you have your block, a nice option for this is to bring your block down and bring your feet up onto the block, and it's just going to change the pose a little bit. Reach for your toes, forward. This one you can round in because your knees are bent. Urdhva Konasana, cobbler's pose, or butterfly pose. We're going to come out of it on an inhale. And then we're going to take our first two fingers and thumbs to both toes and lift up tall. That's the secret, is taking the rounding out of your back, sitting tall. Lean back a little bit so your heels lift up off of the mat. And then see if you can extend out through both legs. Press out through your heels, lift your heart, maybe lift your gaze. A couple more breaths. And then exit. See if you can bring your legs together. Hug them close in towards you. Keep lifting up through your heart. Beautiful. And then we're going to bend into the knees. Bring your feet back to the mat. Slide your feet a little bit more forward to come into like a wide diamond shape. Take your hands under your low legs. Reach for the top of your feet. And then come down into turtle pose. Inhale all the way back. Make sure that you're facing the short side of your mat. Bring your feet down. Take your hands to the back of your thighs. Lift your heels and then your feet. And maybe release your arms. Maybe extend through your legs. Coming into your boat pose. Hold here. Let's take a twist first of all to the right. And then inhale back to center, and then exhale to the left, and inhale back to center. We'll do that one more time each time. Little core strengthening. And then when you come back to center, you could take your hands back to the back of your thighs, but we're just going to slowly round ourselves all the way down to come down to the mat. Once you land, bring your feet down, bring your hands down, press into your heels, press into the backs of your arms, and then inhale, lift your hips to come into bridge pose. You can clasp your hands behind your back, gaze looks up, and the back of your head presses into your hands. Stay here for a couple more breaths, or press actively into your left foot. Inhale your right knee in towards your chest, and then extend that leg up to the sky. Beautiful. We're going to bend into that leg, set it back down, and come straight into the other side. And then bend that knee, set the foot back down. Take another breath here. Inhale, lift your heels, release your hands, exhale all the way back down to the mat. And then just bringing once again the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come wide. Close your eyes. Let one hand rest on your low belly, let the other hand rest at the center of your chest. And then just allow your breath to just move under your hands. Take some nice, full, deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. And then release your hands back down to your mat. Press your feet together and slowly bring your knees back to center. Last option here. If you can lift up into a shoulder stand without hurting your neck, to do that you want to keep that natural curve in the back of your neck. So instead of having your chin tucked towards your chest, you're going to lift your chin, press into the center of the back of your head, and then lift your hips up, maybe with a little momentum. If you're not coming into the full shoulder stand, just lift your legs up towards the sky and start to move them in little circles, go one way and the other. If you're lifting to shoulder stand, you can lift, support your back, your low back with your hands, bring your feet right up over your shoulders, And then you have options to maybe stretch out one leg, the other leg, maybe even both legs. Just getting your heart just a little above your head. To come out of it, you're going to bend your knees, reach your hands down, roll gently back, bring your feet down to the mat. Take your hands with the palms face down, roll from one side and the other. So you're laying on your hands, point your toes, press into your elbows, slide the back of your head in, and lift your heart. Fish pose. And as you're ready, relax all the way back. Lift your hips so you can release your hands. Palms face up. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, let your whole body relax and become heavy. Just move into your Shavasana. You'll be in Shavasana for a couple of minutes. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out. So this is the art of doing nothing. It's the balance of our active practice with just becoming quiet. So just notice, just be curious. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the breath out through your mouth, just like a sigh, just let it go. 2 more times like that, keeping your eyes closed, a big breath in, and a nice full big breath out. One more time. And then start to bend into your knees. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead. Roll yourself off to one side and make your way up to seated. Alright, and once you get comfortable, let your palms come back together. One more time at your heart center. And just bow your head to your heart. Breathe as if you can breathe into your heart center. And then from your heart center, breathe all that good stuff back out into the world. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. The inhale, you're receiving. And the exhale, you're giving back. And next time you breathe in, open your eyes, lift your head. Thank you, guys. Namaste.